Monaco, Monaco, Monaco. Last season we won in the Mercedes-Benz. This year we debut in Ferrari. Can we go back to back? We're about to find out. Anyway guys, before we jump into the weekend's action, if you haven't seen the previous episode at Imola, go watch it. Ferrari's home race, home territory, pressure to perform, link in the top right, spoiler warning ahead. Now, in that race, we have a bit of fallout and you can see our awareness took a bit of a hit. Why? Because we got 13 seconds worth of penalties. Yep, 13 seconds. If you want to see how it happened, again, go watch the previous episode. Now, we did hit all of our specialist goals. That's a good start to the weekend and the episode. But yeah, with that out the way, let's talk about the specialists. Now, as you can see, we actually have a lot of them on almost level 3. Power unit, material fabrication and quality assurance and strategy analyst are all very close to level 3. Manufacturing expert has been maxed out now for quite a while. You can see wind tunnel is literally 50 points away from being maxed out. And then we move to power unit consultant and we're nearly there, level 3, nearly there. We're going to basically assign a bunch of top speed targets and average speed targets. For quality assurance, we're going to go for 2 sessions without using a flashback, and that brings us to upgrades. Now, first off, Charles Leclerc has his eyes set on the side pod profile, so I'm going to kind of delve elsewhere and look at options, and all we have really is the wheel rim covers or the DRS flap. So we're going to go ahead and purchase the wheel rim covers with a, a minor upgrade, but it's drag reduction, and that is a pretty big improvement for us. With that, we skip ahead to Monaco and we're going to get the weekend underway. And we start off with the forecast, which has no rain expected. Pretty overcast and, a 25%, maybe a slight shower, but I don't think anything's going to happen with that. Anyway, elsewhere, upgrades, you can see the only team upgrading here is VCarb. Everybody else is staying in place. There was a big raft of updates in the previous episode after a month away from China to Imola, and everybody brought improvements. But for this one, everyone pretty much staying stationary. So we arrived this weekend second in the championship. Lando Norris, of course, won the last episode, the last race in Imola, thanks to my 13 seconds of penalties, thus making him the new Drivers' Championship leader. In the Constructors, McLaren also have the lead and look very, very strong. So we'll see how things pan out after this weekend. Also, our power unit is looking a bit knackered, a bit second-hand heading into this one. Round 6 of 18, we're still on our initial components, and we're going to squeeze out one more race with this engine. Now, we jump into Friday practice, starting off with our race runs, and we fouled our first lap by a pretty big margin, which is very rare, and I felt like I was driving pretty quick. Second attempt, or second lap, we only just beat it by 300ths, literally nothing. Eventually the track started to ramp up and I got more comfortable, and by our 5th and final lap we were a second up and we started to go pretty quick. So we did succeed in doing the program, but our first lap wasn't great. You can see generally pretty good tyre wear, fuel consumption extremely low here, but we did sustain underbody damage, so I am going to raise the ride height on the front and the rear by a click. You can see our lap time's a bit erratic and I found myself struggling a bit for pace. I just feel a bit inconsistent with the rig around here for whatever reason. Don't know why. First time driving Monaco since I've had the rig, and I'm still kind of adjusting it to my liking. Every time I kind of race on it, I feel like I want to change something and kind of tweak it. So I'm still finding the sweet spot, but for some reason I can really notice it here at Monaco. Anyway,
not all qualifying sessions are created equal. From the moment that a driver sits in a go-kart, they want to end up here in the pit lane, ready and raring for qualifying at the Monaco Grand Prix.
we jump into qualifying, into Q1 specifically, as we clear Sonoda in the Haas. Currently on our first timed lap of the session. Oof, I thought we was going to hit the wall there into the back there. Luckily I took a deep breath and we managed to avoid it, but we do hit the wall at Swimming Pool Part 2. into now the La Rascasse, bit of a lock up on the way in, very close to the barrier on the left as we slide through the final corner, and we're going to head up to the line, and our first lap is a 19.6, and we are 10th and last of everyone, which is a big surprise. So we go for a second attempt, and I lock the rears into turn 1, so we drift and lose a bit of time, and we're still not recovering the time. Now though, through Portier, we set up the exit and we do find a bit of time, and now also avoiding hitting the barrier through swimming pool, and we do find a few more tenths. Bit of a more aggressive lock up there into La Rascasse, but we don't lose too much time, and crucially we have a much better final corner to improve by 4 tenths, but we only move to 17th. Are we in trouble at Monaco? I feel like I've been struggling all weekend. The car doesn't feel bad, but we just seem to be slow. And there is one factor here which I haven't discussed besides the rig, is that it's the first time I'm racing at Monaco since, the 2 handling patches dropped. The first one a month ago and the most recent one earlier this week. And maybe it's me, but I feel like it's harder to be, or it's hard to be as fast as we were before around here, because the curbs now react in a different way and the car maybe also reacts in a different way. Anyway, we need this lap, and currently in sector 1 we're only up by a tenth. We do have a really nice exit out of Casino, and we do find a couple of tenths, so it's a good start to the lap. Heading through Lowe's hairpin, trying to get the car rotated, then through the next right into Portier. We're now 3.5 tenths up.
Okay, there's 2 minutes left in this session and we're in the drop zone. We need a quick lap, or that's qualifying over for us.
We're now going to send it into the Nouvelle chicane, 3rd gear, slight correction on the wheel on the way in. We avoid the barriers and now into to back, down a gear, throw the car in, we brush and ride the wall on the exit, and now into swimming pool, just throwing the car over the curbs, up against the walls, and now into La Rascasse, this time not having a big lock up, and now the final corner as well, matching what we did before. We're half a second up. Is this going to help us? P10 with a 18.7. Is that going to be enough? Yes, it is. P11, and we survive a bit of a scare in Q1, but we are 5 to 6 tenths off the pace at the moment, so a bit of a concern. Anyway, we head out for the start of Q2, and this is on a used tyre, the same tyre we just used to get through. We hit the wall on the entry of turn 1 there, just brushing the left front, which was very minor, but you can see now through turn 4, Massenet just kind of correcting the steering inputs and going in a bit too early and having to have multiple stabs trying to get the car turned into the corner. Now through swimming pool, really aggressive over the curbs again into La Rascasse, not locking up this time for the first time, and now the final corner, a bit out of shape there, missing the apex and getting a bit loose. That's going to hurt our exit. Across the line, it's a 1:08.7, and we match our Q1 time, which we got through with, but we're P10. So I decided to go again on the same tyre, same run, everything, just took a cool down lap, and we're going again. Turn 1, we lock the rears, but we do manage to salvage an exit, but still no big improvement at this stage. We do find a bit of time on the exit of Portier, so we're now carrying a small margin, but we kind of gradually bled that advantage out through the final sector. But then we cleaned up our final corner, and we do improve a bit more and do a purple sector 3, but we're only P9, and we again got some underbody damage, which was a bit of a concern. Now, one thing I was experimenting with throughout qualifying was tyre pressures. I started out on maximum, then moved to middle for the final Q1 runs, and I've now switched to minimum for this final attempt because I feel like I need more tyre temperature, so we're going to see if it pays dividends. But right now, P9, we need this lap again. So, through turn 1, we get a bit crossed up with the rears, but we do manage to keep the momentum going and not lose, speed through there. So we do have a small advantage. Through Massenet, we keep it nice and consistent. One movement to kind of steer in, but we have a horrible Casino, and the exit was super scruffy. Mirabeau also a bit wide of the apex, and generally I'm just struggling to put the lap together here, and I don't have a lot of confidence. The car doesn't feel particularly great at this stage.
1 minute to go.
And you can see we were up by as much as 2/10, and now we're basically matching. So we need a big second half of the lap here into Nouvelle. We absolutely launch it in. We do a quick direction change and we get the traction down, and now we're starting to find a bit of lap time through swimming pool, absolutely launching it again through there. We stay super tight through Raskas, and now the final corner, Anthony Nogues.
30 seconds left in the session.
We do keep it tidy as we run up to the line. We go for a 183 and we go P5. Will that be enough? We're about to find out, but struggling to get the lap together. Our front left is on 17%, so there must have been a wall brush somewhere where in this game, if you knock a wall or brush a wall, you will get, you know, extra tire wear. Now, the big surprise was Carlos Sainz. He got knocked out in P11. Pierre Gasly, P4. What a performance in the Alpine. And we make it through into the final shootout with all our issues in qualifying. We're, you know, slowly but surely, gradually getting a bit quicker. So hopefully we can kind of continue that trend and get faster, you know, in this kind of session, and especially now in Q3. So heading out on track, it seems like the tyre that I just used, which had 17% wear, as you saw me scrolling through the menu there, only had 3%, so it seems to be fixed. So I've gone out on that same tyre, and I can confirm the tyres are fixed. They don't have that 17% wear on the left front, only around 3% all round. So we were able to actually use the tyre and set a lap. A 1 minute 8.4, slower than Q2, but it's a decent banker for Q3, gives us P6. At the moment, Verstappen, a 1 minute 7.6, looks to be in a different planet in terms of pace right now, and Lance Stroll in second. Either way, a minute 30 to go. We're going to be the first car to get our last lap on the ball. So guys, last fresh set of tyres, let's just send it and let's see what we can do. Across the line, a 1 minute 7.9 gives us P4, and I'll take that. That was a brilliant lap. Interestingly, last season we got pole, a 1:7.4. The AI matched their times, but there was many more cars this season in the sub 108s. So our car's quicker than what it was a year ago. So I do wonder if the patches and the handling have just made Monaco a bit slower. So I'd love to hear your thoughts, guys, if you have raced Monaco. I am using the same setup as last season as well, so literally no change, but we're slower than last year, which is a real big surprise.
Formula One returns to Monte Carlo once again today, home to the world-famous Monte Carlo Casino, first opened in 1863, and of course a certain road race first held in 1929. There is no greater an occasion, no more valuable a win than the Monaco Grand Prix. The prestigious Circuit de Monaco then is not all that dissimilar today to the layout that made its debut almost a century ago. It's 2 miles and 19 corners through the streets of Monte Carlo, and although the average lap speed of around 93 miles per hour is the lowest of the season, the tiny margins for error make it the natural habitat of the safety car. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. World champion Max Verstappen starts from pole position. And Fernando Alonso completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Perez, Leclerc, Stroll, Hamilton, Oscar Piastri, Norris, Sainz, Hulkenberg, Gasly, Ricciardo, Russell, Bottas, Tsunoda, Ocon, Albon, Joe, Sargent, and Teo Pourchaire. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track. Welcome to the commentary box. I'm Alex Jakes, delighted to say that we're joined today by Anthony Davidson. Well, they're having a better time than their teammates so far this year. How do you keep that momentum going? Well, it's all about forgetting last time because that was a bit of a shocker. How do they change the story today?
You've got to put it behind you. Whatever happened last time, I was always told as a driver, park it, forget about it. Obviously, feel the pain when it happens, but then you can't dwell on it and carry that through to the next race. So put it behind you and just crack on with this race coming your way now.
Here we go then, time for the race, and we have a very interesting situation here. So my initial idea on strategy before starting was to go for the hard tyre. Now, the game by default has actually put us on the hards as our strategy. So that tells me that AI will likely be doing the same thing. So if the AI are all on hards, then surely maybe starting on mediums is a better choice. But my gut feeling, I wanted to start on hard tyre. So this is a tricky one. In the meantime, we'll go for fuel. I'm going to put a lap in the car. I don't know what to expect. To be fair, our practice runs were pretty fast. So we probably could go a touch less. I'll go 0.6. But I don't know what I prefer here. This is really tricky. I think I'm going to start on hards, but one thing I will do is bump up the tyre pressures once again to maximum. I think we'll probably go hard medium. I think that's going to be what we're going to run with. If we can overtake a couple of cars on the first lap, possibly get into the top 4, maybe then we have a chance on strategy with an undercut to get into the podium positions, possibly. So I think that's going to be the plan for this one. So let's just get into it and see what happens. Third row, left side of the grid. Formation lap's going to be impossible. We're going to have no tyre temperature whatsoever. So it's very likely we may even lose a place. Hence why I'm debating mediums. But I'm going to try it. Let's send it. Well, good news. We actually do have a selection of cars on mediums. It's only myself and Leclerc who I think have opted for hards. So we'll see if anyone in the top 3 has gone for those tyres. But either way, this does give us a bit of a strategy advantage. So let's line her up aggressively here. Our race starts have been a bit hit and miss lately. Hopefully we can try and get a decent one. Away we go. Not a bad start.
Okay, we've reached a worrying level of wear on the internal combustion engine. Let's try and keep the revs down. Early upshifts, later downshifts, please.
Hit the barrier there on the exit of 1. MFD didn't flash up, so I don't think we have any damage. That was a good recovery. Wasn't a terrible start, but Piastri just crept on the inside, so we've held position, and that is more than good enough for me, considering the tyre compound. So we've been struggling for pace all weekend. I want to see now what we're like for race pace and race trim. Really struggling through there. Got no grip in the low speed. Let's see if we can try and close back up here and get within a second of Stroll. At the minute we just cannot get the rear end to work. Leclerc seems to be doing okay. Obviously the AI have no trouble warming their tyres up, but that's going to take us a lap or 2 to get fully settled and comfortable in this race. Either way, long race, long strategy. 1:10.0 from Verstappen. Nearly 2 seconds off that pace right now. Nowhere near DRS. Gonna have to just keep circulating. Hopefully the pace will come to us. We'll get more confident and more comfortable, and we'll start to take more risk. Hopefully also just find more pace in general. A little bit quicker, but not a lot quicker. We're losing a lot of time right now. We are just simply not competitive, period. slowly but surely getting quicker, finding a bit of pace. Just got to keep trying to get more comfortable. On that lap, we actually near enough matched Leclerc, so if we can go a bit quicker, get into the 10s, we might start actually then lapping quicker and cutting down the gap. Oh,
Yellow flag.
yellow. Well, green panel, but a yellow ahead, so someone ahead of us is out of the race. It's Alonso. Fernando Alonso out of the Monaco Grand Prix. There it is. That gives us P5, and we gain a position which I'll absolutely take. I believe Alonso was actually leading the race, so that is heartbreaking for him. Also, I just realised we're P4. I swear I was P6. Did someone pit? Oh yeah, someone's in the pits. One of the Red Bulls pit, so maybe damage.
We're going through fuel quicker than we need to, so please let's ease off and make it last.
One of the Red Bulls pit, so they must have got damage with Alonso retiring, and we're suddenly in an incredible P4, which I can't believe considering our pace, but I'll take it. Oh wow, my front left is knackered. I must have clipped a barrier, which I probably have, to be fair, but it's so minimal, but it shatters your tyres. We've just broken Piastri out of DRS range. I think, again, we're getting comfortable, but those mediums now starting to wear out a little bit. Our front left is staying at 32, it's not wearing out anymore, whereas the other tyres are wearing. I've had this before where the other tyres will eventually catch up to the front left. So it's a bit of a strange mechanism, the way the tyre wear works when you've bonked the wall somewhere and you've given yourself a bit of extra wear.
Didn't quite get what we needed out of that, I'm afraid, but don't worry about it. There's a long way to go. Chin up, and let's focus till the end.
We are burning a lot of fuel. We're going to have to save at some point. We started with 0.6 and we've gone through half of the allocation, and we're nowhere near half race distance yet, so the pit stop will help, but we need more saving. Now we're starting to catch a little bit on Leclerc and Stroll. Leclerc is tucked in behind the Red Bull. I believe it's Perez. I don't actually know who the Red Bull was that boxed when Alonso retired. I didn't see it. I'm assuming it would have been, you know, the one near Alonso. Alonso was P1. I'm assuming Verstappen probably would have been P2. So I'm going to hope Checo is P1 right now, as we have a yellow at the Nouveau chicane, which has now been cleared. But we gained quite a bit on that last lap, so the car's ahead. Easy there, cowboy. I was a little bit out of shape, made it work. Actually, I'm pretty quick through there, but that's not optimal. Bit of a wall hit. It's those little wall hits which give us that tyre wear, basically. Otherwise, it wouldn't be too bad. I've had plenty of, you know, micro wall taps, wall hits, but luckily no damage so far. Oh, and there it is. Stroll into the pits. I was just going to get DRS. It is Perez who is up here, so myself and Leclerc will be staying out for a while longer on our hard tyre strategy. Got to be careful to not get undercut though by cars behind, so let's try and squeeze and put the pace on as much as possible. Let's close in on Charles as well. At the moment, Perez is stuck behind Bottas and Tsunoda. They could be the cork in the bottle here for us to maybe try and overcut Checo. At the minute he's bleeding time, we're catching Leclerc. This might decide our race. This could be huge. I'm pushing flat out, I'm not saving any fuel. I don't care if we go into the negative, we'll deal with the fuel later. This is all about track position, and right now we're catching Charles and we are pushing as much as possible to try and make this overcut work. Perez bleeding time. This is massive. Let's keep it going.
Okay, the pit window's open, so let's box this lap. Box this lap.
This could happen. Perez now 20 seconds adrift. Also, the team wants us to pit before Leclerc, so we're going to get the chance to undercut our teammate here. We could win this race.
Remember, box this lap. Keep an eye on your distance to the speed limit line as you approach and make sure you don't speed.
Yep. We'll box now. Leclerc does indeed stay out. Let's not speed. Nice and easy into the pits. Right, now we need a good stop. If there was ever a time for a good stop, it's right now. Come on, boys. 2.5, perfect. Bottas Tsunoda should be in this lap, which would release Perez. Leclerc's probably safe from a Perez undercut, to be fair. It's whether he could be safe from me. This is going to be spicy. There we go. They pit.
Look after these tyres now. You want to finish the race on this compound.
And as the sun comes out in the Principality, the sun comes out in our race as we are out ahead of Perez on a fresh medium tyre. Now then, can we undercut Leclerc to somehow pick up a very unexpected, unlikely race win? I did not have this on my bingo card, considering how much we struggled all weekend long. Let's see then if we can undercut him. 2 seconds is quite a big gap, but we'll try. We're sending it everywhere right now. Far on the corner, a little bit wide there, didn't quite get the apex. We're racing a pit exit. This is going to be close. There he is. I think we've got it. Oh my god, we've done it. Oh my god, we've done it. I did not expect this. Obviously, Alonso retiring and Verstappen getting collected also massively helped. Speaking of which, Verstappen now P5. But this is huge for us. Absolutely huge. I'm pushing right now to see if I can pick up the extra point for the fastest lap. Don't know what the fastest lap is. I went pretty quick on the last one, but this time I've used all my battery throughout the lap. Let's see, half a second quicker. Not quite. Right, well, we've got a margin now over Perez. Let's manage fuel. Still got a third of the race to go. A lot can happen. Let's try and get safe on fuel first, and then we can hopefully bring this home. This is the most comfortable I've been all weekend. Car feels pretty good. These tyres feel pretty good. I'm also slowly saving a bit of fuel, so I'm able to manage. When you've got, you know, a tyre advantage, you can afford to let off in some areas and lift and coast a bit. So that's exactly what we're doing. At the moment, this is looking really good. A few more laps to go then, before we can call ourselves a Monaco race winner. Here we go, last lap of the race. I did not expect this. What a turnaround. I don't think we was quickest outright, but everything just went our way, and we was fast at the right time. We did get quicker as the weekend went on. We struggled massively in qualifying, but somehow we are going to win at Monaco again.
Let's go. Great job, guys. That was a tough race.
The all-time win record is getting extended. Lewis Hamilton takes the win.
They had to be decisive with their overtaking today as they worked their way through the field. And those kind of race victories are so enjoyable because it's not just like winning from the front. They really had to work for it today.
Here come our winners now. A thrilling race and a tremendous effort by Ferrari. Their history is well known, so it's no surprise to fans the world over to see them come out on top once again.
There we have it. The race is done. What a victory that is. A huge 25 points. Perez second, Leclerc on the podium as well, making it a 1-3 for Ferrari. Lance Stroll P4, a very strong race in the Aston Martin. Verstappen recovers to P5 after, I believe, collecting damage and also picking up the fastest lap of the race. We just missed it by 3/100ths of a second, nearly 4/100ths to be fair. Elsewhere, you've got the rest of the top 10. Russell did not score any points. And of course, Lando Norris, the championship leader, or the former championship leader, down in only P8. If we scroll down, confirmation Alonso was the only retirement from that race. So if we look at the standings, we are once again leading the championship. 15 points clear of Verstappen, 18 clear from Norris. Leclerc in 8th, stays in 8th with that podium. In the constructors, 4 points ahead of McLaren, 20 points ahead of Red Bull, and we are top in both championships. So guys, there you go, there's your lot for today's episode. I'd much appreciate a like on the video. Let's try and smash over 1,000 like ratings on this one. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. And yeah, in the meantime, in the background, you're going to have the post-race fallout. We should gain a nice bit of, just driver stats recognition. And I believe we hit, I think, a fair few of our specialist goals, not all of them, but a fair few. Either way, a very good weekend, guys, and hopefully you enjoyed it. I'll see you guys in the next episode very soon. As always, a big shout out to the members. Check out the 2 videos on screen as well, along with the links down below. And yeah, guys, I'll see you next time. Ciao.